Alright, hello citizens of the Nigelverse. It's Nigel here once again, and this is going to be another wrestling review. WrestleMania season is upon us, I'm looking at some WrestleMania matches. So, to kind of give you a rundown of how things are going to work for the month of March, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday will be the WrestleMania match for the day. I'm gonna do 3 per week because it's WrestleMania season, usually a bigger deal, well, for the most part anyway. Hey, and so wanted to squeeze as many in there as I could. And not to toot my own horn or pat myself on the back, I think I made some good picks this year, or in terms of matches to review. But as for this match, you may be wondering, Nigel, you said month of March. It's still February. Why are you reviewing a WrestleMania match here? Well, I decided the week before I would throw on some pre-show matches because the pre-show feels like kind of a precursor to or WrestleMania anyway. And also, it feels like as of late, I feel like I noticed it like after the pandemic, after crowds came back. It feels like they don't really do pre-show matches that often anymore. You'll get them once in a blue moon, but it feels like they don't really do the pre-show matches anymore, which does make me kind of sad. I get it, not as many people are there for the pre-show. There, a lot of people are tuning in for the main show, but I do want to see some bring back more pre-show matches. So, like I said, sometimes we'll get it once in a blue moon, every so often. But it feels like not enough pre-show matches, at least for my liking. Like, give people a little extra treat, especially while they're just sitting around waiting for the main show. But Neville has I've decided to do a couple pre-show matches. It's not just that, but both these matches are for the Cruiserweight Championship. Kind of show you how they felt about the Cruiserweight Championship since its reintroduction. And they're at back-to-back WrestleMania, WrestleMania 33 and WrestleMania 34. So our first stop is WrestleMania 33 as we look at Neville versus Austin Aries for the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. Now, as always, I'm not professional wrestling reviewer or analyst or anything like that. Just a man who enjoys a good time. Excuse me. And I had a very good time watching this match. Very fun time watching this match. A lot of people feel like this match should have made it to the main card, and I'm kind of inclined to agree. This match was really good, had a lot of really awesome action. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Now, if you've seen these reviews of mine before, you kind of already know how this works. At least you have an idea of how this works. If you haven't, I'm going to be talking about what I liked and disliked about the match, as well as kind of how we got here. Sorry, accidentally hit my mic. There are a couple preliminaries before we begin, though. Stuff that's kind of unrelated to the actual match. For starters, this match was pretty hard to track down. This this match is not on Netflix. When they threw all the old like WWE/WF pay-per-views onto Netflix, and now, how on Netflix it looks like they're under, it's called like Royal Rumble Vault, WrestleMania Vault, stuff like that. They didn't put in the pre-show with them; it just cuts right to the main card, and admittedly, that kind of sucks. Now at least for WrestleMania 33, I'll have to check for WrestleMania 34, but I imagine it'd probably be more of the same. In which I get, like I said, eyes are more so on the main card, but and it was also nice to throw in the pre-show slash the kickoff. Even on Peacock, they had like a separate tab for the kickoff, but not so much Netflix. But thankfully, I was able to find this match on YouTube. Now, the match I found, or at least the version of the match I found on YouTube, for starters, still had the cut from when it went to commercial break. There is a piece of the match missing, but I'm not gonna worry too much about it. But it's also featured the Spanish commentary. Now, listen, obviously nothing against Spanish or the Spanish commentary, but in terms of like actual commentary gems, it was kind of hard to follow along. Obviously, I don't speak. I don't speak Spanish fluently. I know some Spanish. I took it way back when in school. Well, uh, I have have friends who are fluent in Spanish, and I even practiced Spanish for a while in Duolingo before I eventually stopped. And even back then, like before, or I would get ready for school, like as I was getting ready for school and everything. Sometimes, as I was scrolling on the TV downstairs, sometimes I would find like Raw in Espanol, and I would watch that a little bit because I didn't watch the main card of Raw. But sadly, I'm not fluent in Spanish. I was able to piece some things together, or some of the stuff I was able to piece together is that they do bring up Austin Aries' history in NXT against guys like Shinsuke Nakamura and I believe Bobby Roode. So that was pretty cool. That they put over Aries in a big way. They talk about Neville being the king of the cruiserweight. So I will say that they did a great job and just kind of leave it at that. And again, nothing against it, just wasn't able to follow along for myself personally. As for how he got here, though, speaking of Neville and Austin Aries, he's at this point Austin Aries was kind of at a weird point in his career. He had been relegated to doing commentary for 205 Live. He was active on NXT for a bit. He had matches with people like Shinsuke and everything, but eventually he was sidelined and after he suffered an orbital injury, so he was on the sides for a little bit. He was supposed to compete in the I believe it was the 2016, if not the 2017 Dusty Rhodes Classic. He was supposed to reform his team with Roderick Strong on, in a way, kind of reforming Generation Next, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Austin Aries was sidelined, so they had him doing commentary and everything. And meanwhile, Neville, who had turned heel, and this was when they had the Cruiserweight Championship. This was right around when they brought back the Cruiserweight Championship and brought back the Cruiserweight division. They had like the Cruiserweight Classic. Like they which I gotta see if I can find the Cruiserweight Classic. I would love to review that. Uh, Neville had become Cruiserweight champion. I believe he beat Rich Swann, if I'm not mistaken, for the Cruiserweight Championship. So Neville was pretty much running roughshod. He was calling himself King of the Cruiserweights, and pretty much had the look that he would have pretty much for the rest of his career up to this point. He even just changed it recently now that he's part of the Death Riders and he's packing everything in AEW. Uh, but Neville was the king of the cruiserweight. He's not doing as many of the flashy moves, still doing some of them, but definitely he doing more like the grounded type moves and showing more brutality and viciousness, even adopting the rings of Saturn as a submission, which I think was a pretty cool idea. So Neville had been and pretty much ruling the cruiserweight division with the proverbial iron fist. And Austin Aries is at one point interviewed Neville like in the ring, and Austin Aries kind of alluded to wanting to challenge Neville for the cruiserweight championship. So Neville kind of made fun of Austin Aries, kind of made fun of him for being injured and everything. Austin Aries, he's essentially have nailed Neville, hit him with the discus 5 arm, and so now Austin Aries and Neville were feuding, and Austin Aries was officially back in the ring, and so now. This match was made for WrestleMania. I want to see exactly how. I want to see exactly how. Oh, okay, so it said on the March 14th episode of 205 Live, so on a Pi Day, but on the March 14th episode of 205 Live, Austin Aries won a fatal 5-way elimination match to face Neville for the title at WrestleMania 33. So, Austin Aries and Neville are facing here. Now that we've gotten here, in terms of what I liked about the match, a lot of fun action between the two. Neville using a lot of that had aforementioned brutality. He doing some flying around, showing off some of his technical prowess. Austin Aries very much more in the game of technical prowess and everything, but also able to fly on his own. So, I think both styles meshed really well. And just a lot of hard strikes, a lot of good back and forth, or it's a lot of good like grapple pulls and everything. And Aries even locks in the last chancery at one point. I don't believe Neville not locked in the Rings of Saturn in this match, unfortunately. But yeah, had a lot of fun back and forth. We even see Aries like fly out of the ring at Neville at one point. So So a lot of just fun and fast paced back and forth action. They're very much that at for lack of a better term, cruiserweight style. Something that a lot of people love from the cruiserweight division back in WCW, and one of the things that a lot of people loved about the cruiserweight division now that it was back in WWE. And yeah, they didn't always do the cruiserweight division right, but you couldn't take away the action from the people in the cruiserweight division for the most part. But Aries and Neville definitely tore the house down, definitely brought it against each other, and the fans very much into it, like cheering for Austin Aries the whole time. Ultimately, he Neville takes advantage after I believe after Aries missed a was it a stinger splash that he missed. Let me see. No, no, actually. So, also a nice bit of continuity. So Neville does like rake the eyes of Ares and kind of exploits the orbital fracture, and then he kind of kicks the ropes, and Ares like over bumps where he like flies back, or it's hurts in pain because like the eyes hurt as Ares was kind of like resting his eye slash face against the rope after Neville like raked the eyes, and then Neville nails the red arrow. It was still cool that he busted out the red arrow from time to time, because it is still a very pretty move. But I do like how he kind of kept it more restrained now that he was a heel and everything. And I'm sure there are people who feel that he shouldn't have done the move at all, and I'm inclined to agree. But it's still a fantastic move. So it was still cool to see him hit it. Aries does hit his 450 as well in the match, so tit for tat when it comes to that. But yeah, just a lot of fun action between the two. If I had to find something to dislike, um, if I had to find something to dislike, if anything, probably that ending spot where Neville kicked the rope in area like flies all the way backwards. But that's really more nitpicky. And a lot of people feel like Austin Aries he's could have and should have won the Cruiserweight Championship here, and I'm kind of inclined to agree. Especially because Neville would drop it briefly to Akira Tozawa. Uh, um, we're getting it right back later on in the year, or so why not drop it to Aries and you can have Neville win it back? But I kind of get why they didn't do that. Aries wasn't very liked backstage. Definitely a man known for his attitude and kind of known for getting in his way. Hey, someone that's followed him a good portion of his career, or her and definitely was very unpopular backstage. And apparently he didn't even really enjoy being in the cruiserweight division, which I kind of get it. But Aries would eventually be gone later on in the year. He would rematch Neville a couple more times at I believe Backlash, or actually Backlash was SmackDown. This is when they had the brand exclusive pay reviews. So I want to say it was Payback that he rematched Neville and then had Extreme Rules, if I'm not mistaken. And I could be wrong. Let me make sure I'm not. Uh, uh, yeah, yeah. So, Austin Aries, he's rematched Neville at Payback. Like, like, so he faced him at Payback and then also at Extreme Rules. Yeah. So, Aries rematched for the titles, lost in both times, and then he was gone. And as for Neville, they had other plans for him. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this review. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor: like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and turn on those post notifications so you know every single time I upload a video, so you never miss an upload. And let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on this match, my review of the match. If you like my review of the match, let me know. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.